Welcome to the Soul Talks with Misha podcast about spirituality blended into the modern life and really anything about conscious living and why is it beneficial for you. If you feel like you are the creator of your life or you want to be and you want to have it all, whatever it means for you, then stay with us. I'm your host, Misha, and I help women and men through energy healing and sound healing to become their better version. And today I have a guest with me, Laura Maldonado. And she is a life coach. She's a global citizen. Currently, she lives in Czech Republic, and she's also the retreat organizer and retreat host. So, how is it? What happens when you arrive to the retreat place and the whole electricity and water just stop running? And how to solve it when there is 10 women waiting for you to actually solve that situation and make them come back to their self? If you want to know the answer for this and learn so much more about Laura, then stay with us. So, Laura, welcome and thank you so much for being here. And so, who are you? Tell us, what is your mission?
Hi, Misha. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's really an honor to be here with you today. So, who am I and what's my mission? That's a powerful question. I hope to answer it briefly, but you introduced me quite well. I just want to mention that I'm Colombian, already living in Europe for 12 years. Basically, I am, as you mentioned, a global citizen, but most of all, I feel that I am a connector. That is one of the things that I believe defines me. And in the last year, probably, that's where I've realized that's my inner calling, to connect people, to connect women particularly. And one of the things that I've truly discovered is that through these connections with women, I am connecting even more with myself. So the more I connect other women and help them achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve, I connect even more with my purpose. So every time I do this, or like a retreat or hosting women circles, I feel like more myself. And that has been probably the biggest sign saying, yes, this is your purpose, you're on the right way.
That's really amazing. I loved what you say about the being connector. Yes, and then connecting to yourself through connecting with others. It reminded me the book called Lost Connection. I don't know if you heard about it, if you read it. Then I will recommend it to you after this recording.
Yes, please
And
do.
to anyone out there, it's a book explaining the reasons, the root cause of depression and the mental health issues in today's world. And one of the main reasons, there are like 7 reasons, 7 root causes in today's world. And one of them is being disconnected from the community, from people around us. So it is wonderful what you're doing. And I loved how you put it to the words. So do you connect, you said you connect women mainly at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you connect as being Colombian living in Czech Republic? Do you connect with Czech women or global women, international women? How is it at today's world for you?
I don't think I have any particular nationality I connect to. I am just connecting to women. So for me, as long as we understand the same language, I can easily connect people. And to be honest, and to be fair, I'm also connecting men. Like if I can't help them, I find who can help them. And I know I did that with you already. Like I
Good.
am literally connecting people. If I see that I can help in some way, I am immediately offering the ways I can help, or if I can recommend someone or recommend a book or whatever it is. But it's never about where they come from. For me, and since I was a kid, actually, since I was 11, I've been participating in an organization that basically every summer I went to summer camps abroad. So I met lots of cultures since I was a young kid. And that's something I've carried with me since. So I don't see a flag or a country label as something that marks if I can be friends or not. Like I don't judge the person at all by where they come from. My only concern is that we can understand each other in any language. And I actually do speak several languages, which is an advantage. But even the language of signs, I'm a pro in that. In like we don't understand each other through verbal words, but we can figure it out if we really need to. So for me, that's
Yeah.
biggest point.
And it's all about the energy afterwards, right? I've seen so
Mhm.
many people, like with myself, I work on my social media, it's a lot in English. And
Oh yeah.
surprisingly, there are so many humans who don't speak English, who don't understand English, and they speak only Czech, for example, and they connect to me so much. And we just have beautiful exchange. I believe it's not really about the language. It's about what we have in common, as what you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me it's been a beautiful discovery really to see like through I also have my social media in English, but I've connected of course with lots of Latin Americans here because they can figure out I speak Spanish very easily. They also connect with me because sometimes it's nice to have someone that's closer to your home even if they're not Colombian, but if they're from somewhere else in Latin America, you already feel it's a bit closer to what you know. So that also definitely helps, but yeah, I'm open for meeting anyone.
That's really inclusive and connecting.
Yeah.
And what was the moment? Because you mentioned it's your purpose. I also asked, what's your mission? And your purpose, your mission is being a connector, that's what you said. So, what was the moment in life when it clicked and you knew? Because I assume it was always there in a certain essence. But then, what was the life changing moment when you said, okay, this is what I have to do no matter what?
I think, yeah, as you mentioned, I noticed that if I think back, like 10 years back or so, I moved to Germany to study 12 years ago. And since I moved there, even before that, I had always had this ability to call people to a meeting, like to gather people with like friends mainly. I never actually used it with other people, but I was really good at connecting with people and then to like have them gather around me for a birthday, for a celebration, for a picnic, for whatever. So it was like very natural to me. And I never actually realized that was not the norm. I thought it was like, of course, I made an invitation and people come, like normal. That's how I saw
Obviously.
it, obviously. And then as the time passed, and I also became more aware of myself and my own abilities, I started to realize that actually not everyone has that ability, especially to connect with so many different people. Because as I mentioned, I love connecting with people. I literally meet a friend every day in the bus or the tram. Like I have zero issues talking with strangers. That's how I met you. I just randomly texted you through Mind Valley. But yeah, that's another story. But basically, that's just how I am. I connect easily with people. And maybe last year or 2 years ago, when I started realizing that, almost 3 years now, that life coaching was actually something maybe for me, I also realized that it was so easy for me to host people or to create a mastermind. I created a mastermind with some friends because I was having same conversations with people and they immediately were saying yes. For the first retreat I ran, I also immediately got yeses, and then it was actually kind of a recent acknowledging of my ability that I am a natural connector. I haven't used it in like business sense. In like my previous jobs, I was never actually using it because I love connecting with people in a more emotional level, I guess. That's how it works for me, not in a, yeah, not so much in this business oriented or corporate oriented, which I worked for several years. And in that sense, I would say I was not a natural connector as much, but when it's more of an emotional connection, I am really good at it. So I would have to say it's pretty much this year that I made the acknowledgement.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's very often that something what is so natural for us, we just take it as granted and we don't really think about, like, okay, this could be our strength. And the people around us, they don't have that. It was the same with me. And I think a lot of people have that. So what would be your advice how people should, realize that they are natural them, like just them being them is their strength, like how they should find that strength? Let's do a little bit life coaching here.
Well, yeah, actually, it was last year I started one of the courses. I've taken several courses by now and certifications, but last year I was doing it, I think it was one of my first courses, and there was this section about, yeah, identifying your natural talents and basically what you're good at to get to know yourself better. And I remember, like, I could list a lot of things, like the more academical talents, because of course you've been told, I don't know, you're good at math or you're good at whatever. And like that you've been told multiple times, so you acknowledge it. So I had that. I was like, I'm good at languages because I've learned a few languages. I'm good at blah, blah, blah. I knew these things. But then when it came to more like other talents that are more innate talents, those I struggled. So one of the exercises, which I do recommend to everyone, was ask people around you. So ask your parents, ask your friends, ask your partner, ask your coworkers, like, okay, if you think about me, what is one skill that stands out? Like, what is that one skill that you think, wow, I don't know, Misha is a great also connector, I would say, in a different way, but you're also like, you have this beautiful energy about you, and that's why I clicked with you. So that is something that you have in you, and it's not like you learned or you even thought about it. And for me, it was actually my partner who mentioned it, that he was like, yeah, you're great at connecting with new people. And I was like, but everyone does that. And he's like, no, not everyone does that. And when he
And
started
not
to say
everyone
that
enjoys
last
that.
year, sorry?
Yeah, sorry. Not everyone enjoys that. That's another point, right? Like maybe
Exactly.
a lot of people it happens, but not everyone likes it. And I know from we know each other very shortly, but from that 1 month, I think we have a month, 1 month friends anniversary or something. You really enjoy it. It brings you joy, and that's important as
Mm-hmm.
well when we find our talents.
Yes, exactly. And that's part of, like, probably that's why since last year I've been more aware of it, and I started to say, like, okay, if that is something I can do and I do enjoy it, as you say, like, what can I do with it? So who else can I connect, and how else can I do things with this ability that apparently it's not normal, or not that it's not normal, but that not that everyone has it and not everyone enjoys to have it, because I do. For
Mm.
me, it energizes me. It's like a
Mm.
no-brainer when it comes to connecting people.
Is it also one of the reasons why you organize the retreats that you connect
Yes,
people?
exactly. So go ahead.
I wanted to say, tell us more about it.
So yeah, basically it started last year with organizing first the mastermind with some friends. So I organized this mastermind with, we were 6 friends in the beginning. I was literally having similar conversations with each of them. They were also coaches and starting coaches or some more advanced. So I was like, well, it would be amazing if we're having the same doubts or we can support each other. Let's join. So we started this mastermind. It's already a bit more than a year. It was like July last year. And once we had that together, because I obviously was the one connecting that and putting them in place, we set up the calls bi-weekly. And then after maybe 2, 3 months, I was like, actually, it would be great to have us in the same place. Like, what if we organize something for summer to be together in the summer as a mini retreat where we can help each other and work on our business, and we can each teach different sessions because we all had different knowledge, so that would be amazing. And it began like that, but by March this year, so it was like in 6 months more or less, I had already like this, my friends call it that it's like a internal vision that I have, that if I don't stop speaking about something, I just will do it, and it will be something amazing. Because that happened with this mastermind, that at first I was just like speaking until I connected them. And then it was the same with the retreat, actually, where I just had this inner feeling and inner urge, like, it's not enough to have only my 6 friends join. I have to tell other women. I have to share it with more. Also because I know some of them wouldn't be able to join, but it was like this, it was not a logical decision, I have to say. It was something that I didn't choose. It was like a command in my body, like, you have to hold it and it has to be bigger. And I was, yeah, in March, I was thinking about it. And then I also was taking another course, like everything this year is courses. And I was taking one about how to coach for future self. And one of the questions the coach asked, which I would also recommend everyone to do it, if you have some project in mind. For example, I had this idea of the retreat, but in my mind, it was a very big, difficult idea. And I would probably host it like in a year. That felt achievable and doable and like a relaxed decision. And then she asked us, well, if you have this goal or this big project that you want to achieve, how long is that timeline? So I was like, yeah, it's a year. Great. And would it be possible to do it 6 months faster? Yes, I could do it 6 months faster. It wouldn't be the best season, but like technically, yes, I could do it 6 months faster. And then she was like, okay, how about 3 months faster? And then I was like, can I do it 3 months faster? Actually, I started thinking, well, I've already mentioned this idea to so many friends. I would only need to figure out where, and I would only need to figure out how much to like plan or budget for food, which I had no idea how to do. And pretty much it. I just need to find the woman and the budget, or like do the budget, and that's it. And yeah, 3 months is feasible. That was March.
Sounds doable.
Yeah, doable. And that was like in March, and it was still like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And then in April, I had another meeting with 2 of my good friends, and I just told them, you know what? I'm doing this, because they were part of this original mastermind, and they live in Brno. They're the only ones that live in Brno. And I told them, you know what, this is happening and I'm doing it and I hope you join me, and it will be in July. Decided, because it's the dates that anyways we had chosen for the mastermind ladies. We had chosen the date and that's it. And I just went with it. And as I started speaking and sharing my dream with other women that were either in my coaching cohorts or friends, they all started saying yes, without a doubt. Like, I had nothing. I didn't have even a price at that point. And they said yes. So that was like a huge sign for me to say, go for it all in, because they're saying yes to air. And the fact that they said yes to air was like a huge confidence boost for me because I literally had nothing. I just had like a date in Czech Republic. That's it. So that's how
I
it started.
They were saying yes to you, though, not to the air. I don't think they would, if someone else is offering it, maybe they would say no. So don't be
Yes,
so harsh
that's
on
true.
yourself.
Okay, I have to give that credit to myself as the seller. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was super excited. So, yeah, of course, they wanted to feel that energy as well, because I know I was, like, I still am extremely excited about the next one that I'm organizing. But for that first one, I think it was even more just because it was the first time ever that I had dared to do something so big and so out of my comfort zone. So that was like a inner achievement, let's call it.
Wow. Congratulations for that. And it's big because I also organize retreats on my own. And maybe for everyone out there who never actually organized a retreat, it's a lot of work. It doesn't look like that. It looks like 2, 3 days, in a cottage, a little bit of program, but it's so much work behind. So, yeah, congratulations because you
Thank you.
managed so amazingly, even
Yeah.
without the electricity for a beginning. So, what
Oh my
happened
goodness,
there?
yes. That's another funny story. So, as you said, like, there's lots of planning, lots of things that I had in my mind, that I had organized, I had considered. Like, everything was perfectly done according to me, of course. I even organized the transportation in this first retreat. I decided I won't do that again because that was my biggest headache. But on this first one, everything I organized, literally to the last detail. And then we arrived. It was a rainy day, which it was midsummer, like it was mid-July, and it was rainy and cold that day, unfortunately. So we arrived, it was still rainy. I started to check for the light switches and they weren't working. So I called the owner and I was like, hi, we arrived, it's all good, but we can't find the big switch that turns on the light of the house. Like, what's wrong? Like, I don't know what I'm missing. And she asked me, well, have you checked like where all the, I don't know, like the controls for the electricity are, the ones that you have to put all up or down? And I said, yeah, but it seems like they're all in the same direction. It seems fine. She's like, oh, then it means it's not in the house. It means it's like a county area or like a village issue. And I was like, okay. So yeah, basically there had been a storm and a tree fell on some electric power lines, and that wiped out the whole electricity for the whole, not just the village, like for the whole area, basically. Sorry, that's my dog moving around. But then I was like, okay, we will manage. Like, there's candles. I had brought candles. She had candles. There were some few lamps that just worked with batteries. So we were okay, and hoping that they would fix it soon. And I was feeling very confident because the water was still working. So I was saying, even to the ladies, like, it's okay. We don't have electricity. It will come back, but we still have water. So we can be thankful that there's still water. Well, half an hour later, there was no water. And I didn't realize that, of course, it's a country house. The power feeds the water pump, which
Yeah.
comes from a well. So there was no water. So basically, it wasn't just the fact that we didn't have electricity, we also didn't have running water. So I called again the lady, like, sorry, I mean, now we don't have water either. Like, this is a very big problem. I have 10 women with me. We need water. And, it's like basic. So she had some emergency water and she was telling me, like, yeah, there's these like outside toilet that you can use for emergencies. So yeah, basically I acted like a flight attendant where I took the ladies and I was like, there you can find the outside toilet and here you can find the water bottles for emergencies, for whatever you need. But of course we went and bought a normal drinking water bottle so that everyone would have. And of course, once that bottles of water arrived to the house, half an hour later, everything came back. So we were saved. Water came back, the electricity came back. But one thing that I really learned from myself and what I shared with the ladies as well was that we were flowing. So we were all learning from this huge test, because it was a huge test, not just for me. I was, of course, the organizer in charge of making things work, which the burden fell
Mm-hmm.
on me. But the ladies also were at the beginning a bit nervous, like, okay, will it be the whole weekend that we don't have electricity, no light? Like, we want to communicate with families, there's no electricity. Like, so
Yeah.
much noise comes immediately and so much fear comes. And it was still daylight. I mean, it was summer, so it was like 6 p.m. We still had light, even natural light, so it wasn't like critical yet, not really. But you could tell that all these fears pop up immediately. I
Mm-hmm.
somehow was in Zen mode, completely relaxed, and I just knew, okay, I solved the water critical issue where we have to drink clean water, so that's okay. We have the other for cooking or whatever. We have a external, not ideal, but have a toilet, and we can do everything else. We have candles and we are fine. Like, we're okay. So I reminded them, and also some of the other ladies were relaxed, and we just reminded each other that we were there to flow, to relax, to disconnect, and this was just a test, and they were fixing it, so we would just hope that whoever was fixing it would get our positive vibes and they would be able to fix it faster. But there was nothing we could do. It was absolutely out of all of our control, so we just had to surrender. And that was one of the words that became, both surrender and flow were the words that became part of our kind of mantras at the retreat, because basically at the very start of the retreat I already had to surrender into the flow of the time that happened at the retreat, which was outside of the normal times. Our schedule just had a list at the end because the times were completely irrelevant. And that was like what I learned, and I know what most of the ladies took as well, or if not all of the ladies, that we just had to flow. And by being in that flow, everything went well. After that, there was
Mm-hmm.
literally no other test that could measure up to having no electricity and water. So everything flowed. And that's something I still carry now with me. And for the next retreat, I've already embodied it, that I surrender so many things already that are not relevant.
Yeah. And to me, or how I read this, because you told me the part of the story already before our
Yeah.
podcast, but now listening to it again, it really seems to me like it was supposed to happen. It was divine calling that you are the retreat host, and this is clearly your way to do retreat. But then once you arrive there, you probably like hit the upper limit. If you're familiar with that concept,
Mm-hmm.
it's really what it means that on the way of growth, like when we grow in our journey, the soul wants to expand and the soul wants to go wherever it wants to go. Sometimes our human is like, I don't want to go that way, like you are crazy, but the soul is just pushing and pushing. And so if we are aligned, then we really go that way. But sometimes we just hit a point where our physical body or the physical world is testing us. And it feels to me like it's testing the upper limit. Like, do you really want to go there?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Because every growth and every next level, and you said it was a big project for 1 year planning
Yeah.
and you did it in 3 months, which is very short. It's like you really changed the timelines. And
Yes.
then our nervous system have to get used to it, and you have to really get out of the comfort zone. Even though you love
Mm-hmm.
it, even though you're really good at it, it's still getting out of the comfort zone. And so the physical world needs to adjust to it. So to me, this is
It's
what happened.
It's so true, and you're so right. I hadn't seen it that way, but you're absolutely right. I had seen it as, yes, it's a test. Like, are you sure you really want to do this?
Yeah.
And are you sure you can handle it? And after it passed, because everything was solved, and I realized, like, I didn't overreact, I didn't get stressed, I didn't let the energy of the room, let's say, get in a negative way. It absolutely continued to be positive and relaxed, and we were laughing. Like, it even, to me, honest, as you mentioned, it was meant to happen because it even bonded the ladies so much faster, because when there's an issue, you either panic or you bond and you solve it together. And as women, like, we were already like, okay, how do we solve this? And we all figured it out. We had one with the phone lighting because we had to figure out, we have stuff for the fridge, and like, which fridge is the coldest and what really needs to be cold. So we were like figuring out in the kitchen, which was a bit darker. So we had literally like task of a lamp, task of whatever. Everyone had a job, and it was so nice. Like, we felt like sisters immediately, because that's what you would solve with a family issue, and like, you would not complain, you would just figure it out. And it was like
Yeah.
that. So it was so reassuring also to have that immediate sisterhood that I felt that even though I was in charge, I was backed up by them as well. So that was very beautiful.
That's beautiful. And what you said, if you just surrender, you flow. And it doesn't mean that you're irresponsible and say like, oh, I don't solve these problems. You, of course, take the actions, but at the same time, you surrender. And it's very clear message like to the universe, like, yes, I'm doing it. I am ready. And like, I just go all in. So it's really, it was meant to be. And so
Yeah.
here you are for the second time organizing the Shakti Oasis retreat, right?
Yes.
It's very soon. Do you want to tell us more about it? I
Yes.
assume there will be a lot of adventure and a lot of go with the flow.
For sure. It will be in the same location, so now I'm prepared. This time I will take water just in case and more lights. But no, I love the place. The place was so beautiful. It's a beautiful location, and the area, it's in an area of Czech Republic where there's like ancient history, let's say, of the power of women. So there's lots of history in that area which you could feel because it was a very feminine energy. I didn't know when I chose the location, but once I was set on that place, I started finding out so many more things. And that's why I chose it to be the second retreat in the same place, because I'm familiar with it. I loved it. And for this second retreat, I also, of course, updated the timeline to 2 months. I just decided I would run it again in August. It's a very new, and
Just
it will
keep
happen.
growing.
Yeah, it will happen October 17th to 19th. So it will be a bit shorter. The last one was 4 days. This one will be 3 days. But the idea is the same. It's so with the first one, as I mentioned, the story of how it came to be, it was meant to be a co-creation. And I loved that because it allowed the woman, whoever wanted to lead a session, they could lead a session. Whoever loved cooking, they could cook because that's also a love language. So they could show their love to the group by that. Or some women, fortunately, I'm not one of them, but some women love organizing, like it comes natural to them. So that's another way that you can co-create. So that was one of the things that I included in the first version. And that is also, let's say, my differentiating factor in this retreat. So in October, it will be the same. It will be a co-creation where every woman is invited to share their gifts if they feel called to. If not, it's also okay to just be a participant, and it doesn't change anything. It's just if you feel called to, you can. And also the core idea, maybe I should explain what Shakti means actually, so for everyone.
Yeah.
Shakti is a Sanskrit word and it means feminine energy. It's like the divine feminine energy. But also I found out recently in another language in India, which I apologize, I completely forgot which one. It also means power. So it's like energy, power, feminine in the purest form. So the idea behind this oasis is that you go there to be reconnected with your own feminine energy, to connect with this sisterhood, because that's also my whole goal of connecting the women, not just as, yes, we all went as participants to a retreat, but they reconnect with their souls and they connect to each other's souls. So we call each other now soul sisters because that's what we became. And it happened honestly in like the first 3 hours. Everyone was feeling like they knew each other for years. And that's also why for this retreat, it's not like an open application, no, an open registration. There is an application, but it's not because like I want to choose who is attending just because, but it's more to make sure that every woman that's there, it's really connecting to the same energy and is seeking the same connection between other women, learning from each other, this sisterhood. So that is the main goal. It is not also like a yoga retreat or something like this. There will be some movement. We don't know yet which, because their sessions are still being shaped as the participants join. And there's going to be for sure lots of inner work. So in the first session, in the first retreat, we had lots of inner work, like some energy work. We had also sound healing, actually. We did a cacao ceremony. And I can't promise it will be the same in this second version because the people will be different. And that's the magic. No two retreats can be the same. And for me, that's somehow even more magical because it will depend on who's there and whose energy is there to create something new. So that's the invitation I'm doing now openly. So whoever listens to this and feels called to join in Vapenice, Czech Republic, the Shakti Oasis retreat, I welcome you with open arms. And if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't match your times now, because I know it's pretty soon, there's also the possibility to sign up for next year. So there will be more retreats next year. I plan to host one in Spanish as well. So that will be a new thing. But
So
yeah.
I assume next year you will have just 1 week to prepare.
Probably shortening timelines. Like, okay, tomorrow we're going on a retreat. Who's here? But sadly, no, I actually learned that's also some learning that even though I can shorten timelines, people are still on their normal timelines with their normal plans and they need a few months in advance to plan ahead. I am not like that, partly because I'm Latin, partly because I'm just like very spontaneous. But it's something that I need to continue keeping in mind because other people do have strict timelines and they need time to plan. So for next year, I promise to give more than 3 months in advance at least the dates so people can plan.
Yeah, I think the dates are really crucial for me. I'm the same like you. We discussed whether I'm joining the retreat in October. It's now the beginning of September when we recorded the podcast, and I still don't know because my schedule is also being somehow assembled however the divine wants. So I'm with you, but I
Hope you
also
do.
learned the lesson. Yeah, we are too. But I learned the lesson too that not everyone
Mm,
is or wants to be in this way, because that also can cause maybe stress or pressure if there is no
yeah.
planning. So, there is no right or wrong, it's either way. And maybe also in different parts of our lives it's different, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's very beautiful. So that next year we can expect more retreats even.
Yeah.
And so, Laura, where people can find you, like how they can reach out? I assume it's Instagram, website. We will like write it down, all of it to the description wherever you're listening. If it's on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Podcast, wherever it is, it's always in the description. All the links will be there. But please also tell us, Laura, where can people sign up and
Yeah.
find you?
So they can find me and, of course, speak with me directly very easily on Instagram. So on live.coach.laura, but I know you will share it. Or now with the information regarding the retreat, it's all on my website, lauramaldonado.com. It's basically very easy if you know my name. And
Yeah,
there's
we
all the
do.
information about the retreat. There's also a section where you can register saying, like, if you can't make it in October, keep me in the loop so you will get email notifications whenever there is new dates for next year, because for now they don't exist, but soon there will be for sure.
That's so nice. So thank you for sharing this. And what would be your final and the final touch point, like the final message for our audience, because
Mm.
we're getting to the end, even though I love to talk to you and I could spend talking to you for ages, but we can have a call after the
Yeah.
recording. So what would be the
So
closure message?
the closure message, I think what I learned the most in the last 3 months, or maybe now 6 months, since I had this process that I described of having this crazy dream that seemed really crazy and then making it a reality, is that sometimes you just have to trust the process and be very aware of all those synchronicities that start falling in place, because those are your signs that you're really on the right path. There was no time to like go into so detailed description, but I really had all these messages coming to me through people, through the fact that the first day was a full moon. Like, I don't know, there were so many things that were falling into place that felt to me like messages of, yes, keep going, it's the right direction, like keep going. And sometimes we miss it. So I really encourage people to go for that big dream and to speak it out loud, most importantly, because if I hadn't spoken out loud my dream to my friends or to other people, well, it probably wouldn't have happened, because they wouldn't have felt my excitement, they wouldn't have heard about it even. It wouldn't have happened. So if you have this dream, speak it out loud, share it, give it some life, but also keep an eye on all those little signs from the universe telling you, yes, it's the right way. Go, go, go. And don't be afraid. Things can go wrong, but maybe it's how it's supposed to be. And in the end, for us, the no light, no water, it really worked in our favor in the end, because we had super close group from the first 2 hours. And I don't know if that's normal at a retreat, but I feel that it's probably not so normal. But everyone
Mm.
was really like sisters, helping each other and seeing how else they could be of service. So that was in the end a beautiful situation that came from a theoretically negative test. So let go. That's all.
Thank you. And it made the retreat unforgettable, right? Because you
Yes,
get that to have the retreat with.
definitely. It was also the first retreat for many of the ladies, so I think it was definitely unforgettable.
Now you really set the bar high for whoever organized their retreats for the next.
Yes. But I think, to be honest, be it my retreat, your retreat, I think any retreat where there's particularly women together, there's bound to be magic, because women in a group with the same expectations or ideas, they just support each other and make each other shine brighter. I think any retreat, if you can join maybe our retreat, either of our retreats, great. But if not, because you're too far away, try to search for that space for yourself. That's something that I would absolutely recommend.
I'm so with you because I'm a retreat lover. I love to do retreats. I love to go to retreats. If I could, I would just spend my whole life in retreats. Because that's what you said. It's with the group, no matter the group. So there is always magic.
Mm-hmm.
There is always something more created by nature than what we plan and what we have in paper. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. So try the magic of a retreat for sure. 100% recommended.
Yeah. And also, I loved what you said about telling people around you about your ideas. I'm also so aligned with that. What I heard many times and what I learned as well is, first of all, people support you and they spread the word. I mean, maybe not everyone supports you, but that's also fine, right?
Yeah.
But then we also receive so much help and so much feedback, which normally we would never get if we are quiet. So just speak it out loud, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what is the feedback. Actually, it doesn't really matter as far as we process it and as far as we open our hearts to it and we're like, okay, this is what they tell us. So yeah, there's
Exactly.
multiple ways.
And by hearing also the no's from some people, like in my case, usually when they said no, it was because the date didn't fit or because they were just not interested, but they always still wished me the best. Like they were still wishing me like good luck with it. And I took it as a encouragement anyways. Like I had tried to sell different things before, and in this case it felt different because whenever I got a no, I took it as like a no, but they're encouraging me to go further even if it's not for them. It didn't sound like a scary no. So I think it's also mindset for sure. For this, I was so in love with the idea that it didn't matter if they said no because they were telling me good luck, and I was taking it as like, oh my god, they're really wishing me good luck with all their heart. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were just saying it. I don't know. But I was taking it as a yes, you're in the right path for someone else. It's okay. It's not for them. They're not the person that needs to be there.
But that's how life works, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
always how we filter the responses.
Yes.
You could take it completely wrong and stop, or you could just take it as what you said,
Yeah.
as the encouragement. It
Exactly.
makes
And
everything.
it's important to do it for everything. I know for this it was very easy. For other aspects in my life, it's maybe not as easy, but I plan to take it over to the other aspects as well, more and more.
We're all learning, we're all on the journey.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we're getting to the end of today's episode. So, Laura, thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience and sharing your beautiful energy, which is very energetic and energizing. So, thank you for that. And as we said, you can find all our details, contacts for Laura, and also contacts for myself in the description. I am Misha, and we had Laura today, and we wish you beautiful autumn if you're listening to us now, or if you listen later, then just have a beautiful life and listen to the synchronicities, hear the omens.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Misha. It was amazing to speak with you as usual. So, looking forward to more conversations.
likewise, and thank you for connecting with me, Laura.
Yes, I'm very glad I did.
Me too. Okay, thank you, and bye everyone.